All right, so you're looking at Tesla stock in 2023, and you want to know if it's still a good buy.
Yeah.
Makes sense, especially given Tesla's stock price history. It's been a real roller coaster ride from those all-time highs back in late 2021 to the pressures of 2022, and now a pretty impressive rebound so far this year in 2023.
Yeah.
We've got a ton of your research here, and well, our mission is to try to figure that out for you.
Is Tesla worth the investment in 2023?
Well, one of the things that really jumps out is this 100% growth that Tesla stock has seen in 2023. I mean, on the surface, that looks fantastic.
Right.
But like you pointed out in your notes, that still doesn't put the stock price back to where it was at the end of 2021.
Yeah.
So that tells us there are some serious forces at play here.
Okay, so let's unpack those forces. You've got articles here about Tesla's production ramp up at their gigafactories, their profitability, even with all the price cuts they've made, and of course their constant push for innovation.
Yeah.
Where do we even begin? Well, let's start with production. One of the reports that you highlighted details how Tesla delivered over 466,000 vehicles in just the second quarter of 2023.
Wow.
That's huge. And it shows they're not just keeping up with demand, but they're actually exceeding expectations.
Right. And exceeding expectations seems to be a theme with Tesla, especially when you look at their profitability.
Mm-hmm.
Even with those price cuts you mentioned, their profit margins are still impressive,
Yeah.
especially compared to, say, Ford or GM.
You specifically flagged a comparison in one of your sources between Tesla and Ford's EV margins.
Mm-hmm.
And Ford's struggling to hit 15%, while Tesla consistently stays above 20%. And a big reason for that, as your research pointed out, is Tesla's vertical integration and their control over battery production.
Okay.
That gives them a huge advantage when it comes to cost management.
So they're not just selling a ton of cars, they're doing it in a way that keeps the profits healthy.
Right.
That makes sense. But what about the innovation side of things?
Yeah.
You've got a whole section in your notes dedicated to Tesla's full self-driving, their energy storage solutions, and even their AI advancements.
Well, Tesla is definitely positioning itself as more than just a car company. Full self-driving, for example, has had its share of controversy.
Right.
But if they can overcome the regulatory and technical hurdles as one of your sources, a report from SourceName suggests it could be a game changer not just for Tesla, but for the entire auto industry.
And then there's the energy storage piece of the puzzle. You've highlighted their Powerwall and Megapack products, essentially giant batteries for homes and businesses.
Yeah.
It seems like they're tapping into the growing need for renewable energy storage, which is a pretty big deal these days.
Absolutely. And in one of your highlighted research papers from SourceName, they predict that this sector will see exponential growth in the coming years.
Yeah.
Tesla, with its current lead and battery technology, is well positioned to capitalize on that growth.
So you've got production firing on all cylinders, strong profitability, and constant innovation.
Yeah.
It sounds like a pretty rosy picture for Tesla so far.
It's definitely a compelling story, but your research also highlighted some potential red flags, specifically the increasing competition in the EV market.
Right. You have a whole file dedicated to traditional car companies like Ford, GM, and Volkswagen heavily investing in EVs. And then there's the rise of Chinese competitors like BYD, which some analysts are saying are a serious threat to Tesla's market share.
Exactly. And one analyst report you highlighted from SourceName argues that while Tesla enjoys a first-mover advantage, they need to watch out for these competitors who are catching up fast,
Okay.
particularly in areas like battery technology and charging infrastructure.
Okay, so competition is heating up. What other risks did your research uncover?
Well, you had a big question mark next to Tesla's valuation.
Yeah.
They're currently trading at a price-to-earnings ratio of around 70, which is significantly higher than many of their competitors.
So the market seems to be betting big on Tesla's future growth.
Yeah.
But as one of your articles from SourceName pointed out, that also means there's a lot of room for the stock to fall if they don't meet those lofty expectations.
Exactly. And there are a couple of other factors you highlighted in your notes that could impact Tesla's stock price, like the regulatory scrutiny surrounding their autopilot system and the ongoing debate about its safety and effectiveness.
You flagged a recent article from SourceName detailing how a particular incident involving autopilot has actually led to increased calls for stricter oversight of Tesla's autonomous driving technology. That's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. And on top of that, you're interested in how the overall macroeconomic environment could impact Tesla.
Yeah.
With rising interest rates and the possibility of a recession looming, consumer spending, especially on big-ticket items like EVs, could take a hit.
So we've got these two competing narratives here. Tesla's impressive growth and innovation on one side, and the very real risks of increasing competition, high valuation, regulatory scrutiny, and a potentially rocky economic landscape on the other.
Yeah.
It's a lot to consider. So what does all of this mean for your initial question? Is Tesla still a buy in 2023?
That's the million-dollar question. And your research presented some interesting arguments for both sides. We'll delve into those more deeply in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, sounds good.
Right.
We'll be right back. All right, so we've laid out the landscape, Tesla's strengths, their weaknesses, and the overall context they're operating in. Now let's get to the heart of your question. Is Tesla still a good investment in 2023? You've presented some compelling arguments on both sides.
Yeah, one of the articles you highlighted presents the bullish case for Tesla, this idea that they're a long-term disruptor,
Yeah.
a company that's not just building cars, but building the future of transportation, energy, and potentially even AI. They've got a massive head start in the EV market,
Yeah.
and they're constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
That long-term vision definitely seems to be a major selling point for Tesla, but you also have research that cautions against getting too caught up in the hype. You
Right.
specifically underlined a section in one analyst report that warned about Tesla's stock being driven by speculation and market sentiment rather than purely by fundamentals.
Right, and that's a valid point.
Mhm.
Tesla's stock price has always been incredibly volatile, and it can be heavily influenced by things like Elon Musk's tweets or even just general news about the EV market.
Mhm.
That's something you have to be comfortable with if you're going to invest in Tesla.
So, on the one hand, you've got the potential for massive long-term growth, but on the other hand, you've got a stock that's prone to wild swings. How do you weigh those factors against each other?
Well, you highlighted a key question in your notes: what's your risk tolerance? If you're someone who's comfortable with taking on more risk and you're truly invested in Tesla's long-term vision, then buying Tesla stock could be a strategic move.
But as you also pointed out, that doesn't mean you should go all in on Tesla. Diversifying your portfolio, spreading your investments across different companies and sectors is always a smart strategy, especially in a market as volatile as this one.
Absolutely.
Uh,
And you had a good point in your notes about looking beyond just Tesla and considering other companies operating in similar spaces, like those focused on renewable energy or battery technology.
Right. Investing in a basket of companies that align with your overall investment thesis can help mitigate some of that risk.
Exactly. And that brings us back to the importance of doing your own research. The information you've gathered so far is a fantastic starting point, but it's essential to stay updated on Tesla's developments, the competitive landscape, and the overall economic environment. The EV market is constantly evolving, and staying informed is key to making informed decisions.
So it sounds like there's no easy answer to the question of whether or not Tesla is still a buy. It really depends on your individual investment goals, your risk tolerance, and how much you believe in Tesla's long-term vision.
Precisely. We can provide you with the information and analysis, but ultimately the decision is yours. And while we've covered a lot of ground today, we want to leave you with something else to consider, something that goes beyond just the numbers and the stock price.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's this final thought you want to leave us with?
Think about the potential implications of Tesla's vision for the world. Imagine a future where electric vehicles are the norm, where homes and businesses are powered by renewable energy stored in Tesla batteries, where AI plays a more prominent role in our lives, all spearheaded by advancements made by Tesla. That's a pretty bold vision, and it raises some important questions.
Like, what would a world powered by Tesla actually look like? What are the potential benefits? What are the potential downsides? And perhaps most importantly, what role do we want Tesla to play in shaping that future?
Exactly. These are questions worth pondering, regardless of whether or not you decide to invest in Tesla stock, because the future is being written right now, and companies like Tesla are playing a significant role in shaping it.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into Tesla. We hope you found this exploration informative and thought-provoking. We encourage you to continue your research, stay engaged with the latest developments, and most importantly, invest wisely. Thanks for joining us. It's fascinating to think about the ripple effect that Tesla's innovations could have. You specifically highlighted a section in one of your research papers talking about the convergence of their AI advancements with self-driving energy storage and even robotics.
Yes, and you had a question mark next to that section wondering about the potential implications of that convergence. It's certainly a point worth exploring. Imagine Tesla's self-driving technology, not just in cars, but in trucks, delivery vehicles, maybe even public transportation.
Yeah.
That could radically transform entire industries.
And then there's the potential impact on sustainability. You have an entire article dedicated to Tesla's goal of transitioning the world to sustainable energy. If they succeed, that could be a huge step forward in combating climate change.
You were particularly interested in their energy storage solutions, the Powerwall and Megapack. You even had some calculations in your notes comparing the potential cost savings of using these systems versus relying on traditional grid power. It's clear you've given this a lot of thought. Imagine a future where homes and businesses are powered by a combination of solar panels and Tesla batteries, reducing our dependence on fossil fuels.
It's a compelling vision, but like we discussed earlier, there are potential downsides to consider. You even raised this point yourself, flagging a section in one of your sources that talked about the potential for job displacement in the transportation industry if self-driving vehicles become widespread.
Yes, and you also had a note about the potential economic disruption to regions that are heavily reliant on fossil fuels. It's a reminder that technological advancements, even those with good intentions, can have unintended consequences.
It's a complex picture full of potential benefits and risks. It's not just about whether Tesla's stock will go up or down, but about the kind of future we want to create.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As we move further into this era of rapid technological advancement, it's crucial to engage in these kinds of conversations, to weigh the potential upsides and downsides, and to make informed choices that align with our values.
Your research and the questions you've raised demonstrate a thoughtful approach to not only investing, but to understanding the broader implications of these technologies. That's something we should all strive for.
Remember, knowledge is most powerful when it's understood and applied. Continue to explore, to question, and to use what you learn to shape a future that benefits both humanity and the planet.
And on that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive into Tesla. We hope this exploration has provided you with valuable insights and sparked some further thinking. Thanks for joining us.